Before we begin, viewer discretion is advised. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Oh, everybody loves to mock, but I see it as more of a personality thing. I call them the Christmas Eve shoppers of politics. They know the big day is coming, but they just can't get themselves to do anything about it until the last minute. My father was that guy with Christmas. He would do all his Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve night, an hour before the stores closed. He would go to a single department store with no idea what he was going to get. But that's why a department store is great. Oh, look, toys. I got kids. They like toys. Done.
Bill Maher just lit a fire under Christmas, or at least the woke remix of it. One moment he's sipping eggnog, the next he's roasting society for turning Santa into a corporate sensitivity coach. Apparently, even Rudolph's getting diversity training this year. From inclusive ornaments to rebranded carols, Maher's asking, does Christmas still jingle, or does it just quietly apologize? Grab your cocoa, this isn't a cozy holiday special. It's a full-blown festive roast with sarcasm served piping hot.
About Jesus being born on December 25th. Well, it's a crock of shit. Now, this is not an attack on Jesus, although he was a Nepo baby. But also a revolutionary philosopher with a beautiful message. As to whether he's a god, that's up to you. But if the subject is God's born on December 25th, we have enough of those for an entire Jeopardy category.
If you're loving this chaos, hit that subscribe button, it helps way more than you think. Bill Maher just charged into Christmas like the Grinch with a microphone. He's tearing into woke Mars, where carols come with trigger warnings, reindeer have pronouns, and tinsel committees hold diversity meetings. Forget decking the halls, he's burning down the echo chamber.
Happened. The bride, an impressive, attractive nurse named Sarah Carton, walked out on her dream wedding to sales consultant Ben Mazengo. They were at the altar, all dressed up, almost to the part where they eat cake and do the electric slide, when Sarah broke the news to her man that she just couldn't go through with it. Had he cheated on her? Abused her? Was he a folk-singing Irish vampire? No, it was because of black.
Maher isn't mocking the season, he's mocking the overcorrection. We've gone from silent night to quiet evening of self-reflection. Santa's sleigh might be next in line for an EV upgrade to save the planet and the feelings. It's not about hating progress, it's about asking if we've turned Christmas into a parody of itself.
One thing we know about the young liberal women of today is that they are very, very high in their standards about everything.
When I asked him about it, he was like, I guess I've never really thought too much about it.
And that's when Sarah realized she'd rather. Because love isn't blind, it's woke. Of course, we see it, but it doesn't matter. That's not what woke is. Woke is something very different. It's identity. We see it all the time. It's always the most important thing. I don't think that's liberalism. I mean, I could mention so many issues like.
Maher leans hard into the absurdity when a holiday that survived centuries of chaos suddenly turns into a corporate conference on what's appropriate. Somewhere along the way, people forgot the joy. He's calling out the color-coded ornaments, the guilt-ridden carol edits, and those who treat Christmas like a front line for social justice instead of a reason to smile.
Define wokeness, because I hear people use the term all the time, and it means something different to everybody.
Well, again, I think it's this collection of ideas that are not building on liberalism, but very often undoing it. I mean, 5 years ago, Abraham Lincoln was not a controversial figure among liberals. We liked him. Now they take his name off schools and tear down his statues. Really? Lincoln isn't good enough for you? 5-10 years ago, bedrock liberalism was we are striving to be a colorblind society where we don't.
He turns the irony up to 11. Sure, let's cancel snowmen while half the planet doesn't even celebrate Christmas. Mayor's daring the woke squad, go ahead, sanitize it till there's nothing left but recycled wrapping paper. Rename joy to the world as global affirmation of emotional inclusivity. He doesn't just poke fun, he carves into it with precision sarcasm, serving the leftovers with a side of brutal honesty. Somewhere between peace on earth and please check your privilege before singing, Christmas got turned into a sociology lecture and Mayor's here to call it out.
Democrats, if you ever want to win an election again, the absolute most important first step is stop doing this.
We gather in celebration of the Oscars on the ancestral lands of the Tongva, Tataviam, and Chumash peoples, the traditional caretakers of this water and land.
Yeah, I don't know if we're still saying cringe. Are we? Is that? But if we are, that's this. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Either give the land.
Let's talk about Santa, once the jolly king of cookies, now the poster child for identity confusion. His weight. Problematic. His race. Under review. His sleigh. Too carbon heavy. By the time you finish filling out his DEI form, it's New Year's Day and Santa's in therapy. Even the elves are taking PR classes. At this point, the North Pole needs an HR department just to survive the outrage. Mayor's punchline? White Christmas was about snow, not supremacy. But try explaining that to someone who's lost their sense of humor somewhere between TikTok and Twitter.
New rule, can we please not let politics fuck up the holidays? Anybody with me on this? I mean, half the country is moping, half can't stop gloating. Enough! It's fucking Christmas and you will act like it. 'Tis the season and all that. I don't want to read any more articles like the one about the Trump-loving county sheriff in Ohio who posted on Facebook before the election, "If you support the Democratic Party, I will not help you." Well, thank you for your service, worst responder.
Mayor sees it as part of a bigger meltdown where every tradition goes on trial. Joy gets cross-examined until nothing's left but guilt-free fruitcake. Christmas used to be about connection, now it's hashtags and disclaimers. He jokes it feels more like a corporate training video on how not to offend carolers. You don't sing Baby, It's Cold Outside anymore, you submit it for peer review. And those carol rewrites. Santa Baby becomes gender-neutral gift enthusiast. Deck the Halls turns into respect shared spaces. Mayor's not mocking inclusion, he's mocking the performance of it.
Nobody ever gets canceled for being too woke. So you can say the craziest thing, like men can have babies, and then nobody will, even though people are thinking, well, that's kind of nuts, nobody will say it. They'll just fall in line. Yeah, exactly. That's what I've always thought, men can have babies. Sure. I saw a dude who was glowing yesterday. I mean, and that's the problem.
And it's totally insane.
Cowardice.
Yes, it is. It's moral cowardice, isn't it?
It's intellectual cowardice.
But it also comes from a place of reality, that fear, because they see people around them literally getting cancelled, getting shut.
The competition to be the most aware has turned Christmas into a social experiment. Imagine a holiday debate club, one person lights a candle, another yells cultural appropriation, the stockings, now resource distribution pouches. And corporate America's cashing in fast. Every brand suddenly has a non-denominational winter experience that looks like an IKEA showroom with anxiety. Green and red are too aggressive, snowflakes are problematic, and dinner's a political minefield with plant-based turkey, consent-harvested potatoes, and non-dairy eggnog that tastes like regret.
Undershoot it. The bizarre hobby working-class men enjoy instead of pickleball. The meaning of the word woke has changed. It became something else. The crowd decided that it was the word we're using for too far leftist crazy bullshit. And I just would love to know what you think about that.
It was inevitable that was going to happen because a certain small but influential crowd of people were really obnoxious in 2020 and 2021. 15 years from now, and I'll bet woke is just going to mean somebody who jumps all over you. It's not going to be about left or right. Don't talk to Aunt Hattie about Uncle Joe because they're broken up now and she's going to go all woke on you.
Mayor laughs hardest at the irony. The same people cancelling Christmas are throwing Friendsmas parties that are literally Christmas with filters. He jokes they took the Christ out and replaced it with content. Picture a woke nativity. Baby Jesus swapped for a gender-neutral doll named Jordan, Mary becomes birthing parent, and the wise men get replaced by a gift-giving committee. Christmas didn't need a reboot, it needed a nap. Mayor says we're treating holidays like fragile artifacts. Look, but don't touch. Sing, but not too loud. And whatever you do, don't post your tree without an emotional impact disclaimer.
Say woke, it's become And I make fun of it too, because it's become an eye roll. I only heard it, I don't know what it was, 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago at most, when we heard the term woke, and it was like alert to injustice. I went, okay, I'm down with that. Yes, it became sort of a byword for a lot of this goofy stuff. My politics hasn't changed. They've changed. 5 years ago, no one was talking about defunding the police. I never heard that phrase 5 years ago. Letting 3-year-olds decide.
Christmas used to be about warmth, now it's a minefield wrapped in eco-paper. Maher pictures Santa's workshop holding inclusive toy seminars, elves double-checking if whistling counts as a microaggression, and Rudolph attending sensitivity training for luminary privilege. There's even a petition for Mrs. Claus to get her own sleigh to fight gift-giving patriarchy. Meanwhile, these same critics are binging Hallmark movies in secret, the ultimate comfort hypocrisy. Maher's eye roll could probably power the North Pole.
We're on different planets, obviously, on the spiritual religious stuff. But when you spoke against the woke, that for me was a proving moment. And I have to say something, and this is 100% true. You had more moral courage than pastors that I know that went along with the woke crazy train. And you deserve credit for that because it was of high cost.
Until we get rid of that they're never going to win another election.
I agree. They're not going to take political advice from me.
No, but they might from me.
But they're very loud.
They're very loud, but that's it. And I, as FDR once said,
the truth. Those same people who mock Christmas secretly love it, the ugly sweaters, the cheesy love stories, the over-the-top lights. They just want to sound enlightened while sipping oat milk cocoa under a tree taller than their ego. Maher thrives on that contradiction. You hate Christmas, he says, but you're posting ethical cocoa selfies under a virtual wreath. He imagines the future, an AI Santa asking for consent before gift delivery, digital NFT cookies, and algorithmic affirmations instead of carols. It looks festive but feels like a software update with tinsel.
They have no integrity. They don't present the full argument. They just cherry pick. But that is part of the problem of our discourse, is that everybody just wants to forward their narrative. No one is really interested in the full truth. Just the truth. Just give me the truth. That's the This wasn't something 5 years ago. Free speech, used to be a left-wing thing that we were proud and owned. And now,
maybe Christmas was never supposed to be perfect. Maybe it's supposed to be messy, loud, and beautifully human. It's the one time a year when people argue over pie and still hug before midnight. Maher's not fighting change, he's fighting absurdity. You can modernize Christmas, but you can't sanitize joy. If we keep editing every lyric and symbol, December will start feeling like tax season. So as Maher would say, with that trademark smirk, let Santa stay chubby, let Rudolph shine, let the chaos jingle. Because sometimes, the most rebellious thing you can do is just have a Merry Christmas.